Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Yeah, so people should be coming in now. That's really good. Let me share my screen and we can get underway. Welcome, everybody, to this webinar, which is From Data Chaos to AI Ready, Harnessing HubSpot's Data Hub. So what was formerly called Operations Hub. And let me just give you a bit of an introduction. Maxime is going to do a more full introduction, but he's a PDM at HubSpot, and we've been very happy to have Maxime speak at a number of our in-person events as well. So really happy to have him on the webinar today. I'm Tim. For those of you that don't know, I'm the CEO of Innovation Visual. So a little bit about us, because you'll have no doubt heard of HubSpot, but you may not have heard of Innovation Visual. And what we do is we change companies' revenue results through technology. So there's a snapshot of just a few of the technologies that we use here. It is a very small snapshot, but I think the key thing is here that we're bringing together technologies such as HubSpot and also Salesforce and such things, and bringing those together with the latest in things like frontier models and other AI models. But as those of you that do know Innovation Visual will know, that we're very deep into HubSpot. We've been a partner for many, many years. Personally, I've been using HubSpot for, I think, over 12 years now, and we're very highly technically accredited. And not only are we very geeky and very technical, but we're really good at getting the results out. So we were very proud that we won the EMEA Impact Award for actually delivering client results with HubSpot just last year. So I think the statement that I love to talk about is the fact that we believe that technology is now the most powerful way to get strategic advantage in today's B2B markets. So before I let Maxime dive into the detail of Data Hub, let's just have a few moments to think, well, why now? Why is Data Hub such an important thing for people to be considering now? Well, it's about the foundations of successful strategic uses of AI. There's a lot of people out there we know which are kind of skimming the surface with AI. Maybe they've got a co-pilot license for people across the business. Maybe they're using ChatGPT, but that is not, I would say, a strategic use of AI and not really getting the most out of what is possible. So if we're going to implement AI in a more in-depth and effective way within our organizations, particularly around the revenue generation, so marketing, sales, customer service, we need to think about four core foundations. One of those is data, the health and the depth, and that's what we're going to be talking about today, because it is absolutely key foundation. Those things we're not going to be talking about today, but will be alluded to, things like systems and technologies, those features, the complexity of your systems, the integrations. These obviously have a bearing on your data and your data health, but also the other part of the foundations of processes and the human factors. And at Innovation Visual, we're helping businesses cover all of these different areas. But as I say, we're going to be focusing very much on data health today. So why is it a foundation piece? Why does AI need the good data? Well, I believe, and many people, it's not just me, are talking about this new era of a hybrid workforce. And when I mean hybrid, I'm not talking about people working at home and in the office part of the time. The hybrid workforce is people working with AI agents, doing work for those teams and being an integral part of those teams. And the thing is, those tools are only going to be as good as the information that you give them. And this is really critical. If you want tools to deliver great results, you've got to think about the information you're delivering to them. So if AI agents are our future, the knowledge that the AI agents have access to is absolutely critical now in terms of that success, and also the tools that the agents have success to. And this is really the essence of why Data Hub from HubSpot is so timely in terms of its release, which was earlier on this year, So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Maxime, and he's going to take it away and take us through and show us some of the magic of Data Hub.
Right. Thank you, Tim, and very great introduction. And you're right. Nowadays, with AI, data is important. And that's why I'm here today to present to you about Data Hub and the power it has on AI. A quick intro. So my name is Maxime. I'm a partner manager at HubSpot. I work on the UK market. So you might hear I'm French. And I'm here to discuss about HubSpot and Data Hub. For people that might not know HubSpot, in a very short slide, HubSpot is a customer platform. We have built a set of different hubs to help companies grow their business and really help them through their whole customer journey, marketing tools, sales tools, service tools. And today we're going to focus on Data Hub, which is really the tool to help you manage and activate your data. And as Tim said, why do we focus so much about Data Hub? We see everybody speaking about AI and data. And the question is, why now? And the reason is we've noticed that data now is very complex and very messy. We've actually identified that a company usually uses 15 different tech stacks to manage their whole customer journey. And the issue is that companies make decisions now with only 20% of available data. And that's not good for a business. You're making decisions randomly. You're under a lot of pressure. Management asks you to go faster to generate more revenue. But the issue is you have disconnected data and tools that actually blocks your team and your AI to be efficient. And as Tim said, AI is only as good as your data is. And the problem is that your data is not ready. And the problem with it is that for marketers and marketers that hear us here, you cannot personalize outreach with context and data. It means you can't run great marketing campaigns. You can't segment your database correctly without the right data. For leaders, lack of data and messy data means you can't create and trust your dashboards. For teams, it means that you spend lots of time doing manual work, moving from one tool to another, which means you lose a lot of time. And as a result, your AI is inconsistent, you don't have the results you expected, and you cannot grow your business. And this has a cost. Companies in this situation lose a lot of revenue. They spend a lot of time, a lot of money trying to generate more leads. They have a damaged reputation because they are not able to run the right marketing campaigns, and they are very slow in generating revenue. And that's where Data Hub comes in. We think that companies should be able to have their data in one single place of truth. And that's where Data Hub comes to transform your data, your messy customer data, into insights to be able to generate more revenue and empower your go-to-market teams, which is your marketing and your sales team. More in depth, what it will do is that we are unlocking unified data. As we said, we will enable you to have all your tools in one single place of truth by eliminating data silos and powering your go-to-market team. We will help your marketing and your sales team have all the context, all the insights about your customers, about your prospects, to generate more leads and more revenue. And thanks to this, we are enabling you to use your AI more efficiently. You have complete, accurate data to deliver better results. And this is some of the benefits. I'm not going to go too much in depth because we're here to see the tools, but some of the Data Hub benefits are your customer experience. Nowadays, customers, prospects want to feel that they are heard by the buyers and by companies. So thanks to Data Hub, you're able to get more context about your prospects, about your companies, to run better personalization with your marketing. You have more insights about your customers, more insight about your prospects. Sales team can better prospect and generate leads. And we enable teams to run more efficiently, less manual work and more time doing work that matters. And that's where we're going to go through some of the product overview. So I'm going to show you the main Data Hub features that we think are valuable and that will help you with your business. So I'm going to share my screen. Tim, do you still see my screen and the HubSpot?
I do, yeah. Yeah,
Right.
it's good. I can see the data model screen, so looking forward to
Perfect.
this.
Amazing. So for people who don't know HubSpot, this is what HubSpot looks like, where you have all your different objects, CRM, your marketing, your sales tools. With Data Hub, you will see that you have now a data management tool that will have all the different features to help you better manage your data, clean your data, and activate it. And we're going to start by the most important one, which is the data model tool. Why it is important? We hear a lot about prospects and about clients that the reason the data is messy is because people don't know where is the data. So thanks to the data model tool, we will be able to understand how your data is structured, connected, and how the data is flowing inside of your CRM. So you will be able to see through this sort of graph all your different CRM objects and how they are connected between each other. For example, you can see how the company's objects are connected to contacts, how the tickets are connected to other objects. So this will be able to understand the associations between all the objects inside the CRM to make sure that all the objects and all the properties are used efficiently. What we're able to do here is, of course, we're able to edit it if we need, but we're also able to understand how the subjects are working on the CRM. We're able to see how they're used. We're able to see all the properties that are linked to the CRM object, and we're able to see how they are used inside the different tools if we use this object for workflows, on reports, and on lists. And you can do it for everything, and you're able really to edit it and make it your way. And this is the crucial part of cleaning your data, because you can have the best data in the world. If you don't know how your CRM is structured and how the CRM objects are organized, you will keep having data issues. So this part is the most important part, and this is one of the first objects we have here today. The second one we want to see is the data integration tool. Usually, people come to us and ask us, do you integrate with this tool or with this tool? And we have now the possibility to synchronize your apps with HubSpot, because we know that you have data that is available on other systems and you want it to connect with HubSpot. So through this data integration tool, we enable you to connect your other tools to HubSpot in a click. It can be Shopify, for example. If you have MailChimp for emailing, you can synchronize MailChimp to HubSpot. If you have Aircall, for example, Brevo, or other tools, you are able to connect these tools to HubSpot in a second. And it's important to explain that this integration and this synchronization is in two ways, meaning that what will be in Pipedrive, for example, will be in HubSpot and vice versa. And what you can see here is we have around 127 automatic synchronization you can have in the CRM. But we know that all the tools are not here. And we know that if you work in the manufacturing industry or if you're in the healthcare industry, you might have other systems that do not automatically integrate with HubSpot. And that's where partners such as Innovation Visual are here to help you, where they are able to create custom integration to connect your app, your third-party app, to HubSpot through an integration. As a matter of fact, just a little ad here about Innovation Visual. They're one of our great platinum HubSpot partner, and they actually have some great HubSpot accreditations to enable you to create custom integration and to run some data migration as well. The other thing you can do as well is you can transfer your data. We know as well, and I hear it a lot, that people are stuck with Salesforce, they are stuck with Zendesk or with other systems, and they are scared to migrate their old data to HubSpot. They think it's going to be hard. They think it's going to require some IT resources internally. And instead of migrating, they keep their old system that doesn't work. And within HubSpot, we've developed, and it's still in beta, a smart transfer tool to be able to transfer effortlessly and stress-free all your data from your old tool to HubSpot. What's great as well is that, again, we have Innovation Visual here that can help you with transfer of data you would have to do, because even though we say that it's quite easy to transfer your data, it's still important that we do it the right way. So it's always recommended to use a partner to run this CRM migrations, for example.
Yeah.
Anything to add on this? I know it's a bit more technical, Tim, and I know you love this this sort of topics.
Yeah, no, I think this is really good, and I think you hit the nail on the head with people have this reluctance to move from a legacy system, thinking that they're gonna lose out. But with our migration accreditation, we've actually had early access to this migration tool for some time, and the team are really impressed with it. The fact that you're not losing any context around records, and it's a really deep data transfer, which often wasn't possible. But you're right about getting people involved. I think one of the things we always talk about is doing data cleanup on the way, like either pre or post migration, to make sure it's really spot on. But this tool, yeah, it's been pretty magic when we've been using it of late.
Yeah, I agree. And what you said is true as well, is we want to do the cleaning. We want to make sure that everything is fine before doing this migration. But yeah, maybe a call to action for people out there. If you're thinking to synchronize one of your tools to HubSpot, or to migrate from another tool to HubSpot, feel free to reach out to Tim and the Innovation Visual team to help you on this.
It's also, I suppose it's also worth saying, you can migrate multiple things in. So we often get this consolidation where maybe that people have been using Pipedrive for managing sales and pipeline, and they've been using MailChimp or ActiveCampaign on their email. And actually, the tool set is very good at bringing it in and not ending up with a mess, but being able to deduplicate. And I know that's something you're going to get on with in a moment. But yeah, don't think it's just one tool and that's it. That's sort of one app.
Yeah, exactly. And perfect transition as well with the data quality, because we want to make sure that the data is clean. And that's one of the issues we see a lot with companies. They tell us that they have duplicates data, that one sales rep owns 5 times the same company, formatting issues as well. And we have a tool called the data quality tool that enable companies to clean their data, clean duplicates, clean the formatting issues, and be able to have enriched data. And you're going to tell me, it's fine, like I don't need to clean my data. It has been working like this for years. Yes, but that's maybe why you're not able to grow your business, because your data is the key for your CRM. That's what enables your marketing team to run strong marketing campaigns. That's what enables your sales team to run prospecting, outreach campaigns as well. So it's important that we think of this as an important topic. So within this data quality tool, you will be able to see all the different duplicates you have with your contacts and your companies. And instead of editing it manually or deleting contacts, you will be able to merge contacts together. So for example, here I've got Josephine. I know it's the same Josephine. you are able to review the contacts and you will be able to merge the existing contact. So instead of having two Josephine, you only have one. So you will be able to do it for all your contacts, but also for companies. We know that's an issue, that sometimes you have 3 times the same company because they have a different website domain, for example, or a different location. Same here, you are able to look at the companies and merge them automatically. And you can move to the next one. So it's a very easy way to be able to manage your duplicates. The other one is the formatting issues. I don't know for you, but I hate when I receive emails starting by hi first name or hi Maricela, while my first name is Maxime, and it happens a lot. And the formatting issue tool helps you to avoid these issues. So you will be, for example, to swap when the last name is first, for example. So this one, for example, if we have an Neely Terry, for example, we can decide and we can swap and make sure that the contact has the right first name and last name. We're able to clean issues when we have, for example, the first name and the last name in capital letters. So we will be able to fix these issues in just a click. But we're also able to, for example, fix issues where we have placeholder text rather than the name. For example, here, got cool robots, and I see there is some text I didn't hear. I can decide to remove this to ensure that the data stays clean. We can also do it with emails. I don't have any example, unfortunately, where the email address is wrong or there are issues with the email address. But we can also fix issues with the, for example, location. If there were mistakes with the state name, the country, if we're missing data, we are able to add information regarding the location of the company or the prospect to ensure that you have all the right information.
I think that's really powerful. People sometimes start underestimating the importance of the quality level of the data.
Yeah,
And, you know, as you say, getting the wrong first name, but also capitalization just makes your marketing look really poor quality if you've got the wrong capitalization. But this smart tool is super powerful, as you can see on this example, being able to understand that if somebody's in the state of Alaska, in this case, or possibly Arkansas, but no, it's Alaska, it's understood AK is Alaska, and therefore it can fill in the country and fill in the time zone. And if you're sending things out in certain time zones, that's really important. But normalization of data and things like normalization of company names, particularly if you've been using another system, I think it's super powerful. People like in the UK having limited or LTD or none of those, and then ending up with multiple company entities, it just becomes problematic. And this is a great way of fixing it, this tool.
yeah, absolutely. So this is really a game changer for companies. And it's also linked to our data enrichment tool. So of course we can update the company location, but we also have the possibility for you guys to enrich your data automatically. Sometimes you will have a company name and you have missing properties. You don't know in which industry they're in. You don't know the company description. You don't know the number of employees. And basically your company's properties have a lot of gaps. And within HubSpot, so we acquired Clearbit, I think it was last year, which is an enrichment
No,
platform.
2 years ago,
It
Matt.
was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow, time
Yeah,
flies.
time does fly.
Time flies. But basically, we will be able to enrich all the different properties within your different companies and your different contacts. And how it works, it's quite nice because you don't have to think about it and you don't have to click on any property to update that. Within your settings, you will be able to automatically enrich new records, either their companies or contacts. So this is quite straightforward and enables you to have your company's properties updated automatically. Another great thing, another tool that I like is the Property Insight. And sometimes, it's normal. Companies want to create new properties because they want to create new segments. And you come up with tons of different properties that are unused inside your CRM. With the data quality tool as well, you're able to see how much are used properties inside your CRM. So what it tells you is, for example, let's say you created a new segment, you can see that it hasn't been used in the last 3 years, for example. So you can automatically clean your properties, clean your CRM, and making sure that your properties are clean and that we won't have any more messy data in the CRM. So we have all these different tools to enable you to clean your data. We also give you recommended actions. So HubSpot AI is living within the CRM, and we can give you recommended actions. For example, here, it can also tell you to review your workflows. So for me, it notices that I have 3,000 workflows that are unused, which is quite a lot. So it can tell me to review my workflows and tell me which one are off and which one I should delete, to make sure that, again, we have data that is living, but data that is clean inside the CRM. So as we say now, we have data that is clean, and sometimes it happens that you want to connect other platforms or other databases to HubSpot. And that's where Data Studio comes in, where we enable you to connect external sources to HubSpot to either build new workflows and new segments. But what's interesting with Data Studio is that it will create data sets to make sure that your CRM data stays clean. We don't want any more mess inside your database. We will create data sets to make sure that we don't inject bad data inside your CRM. And what's interesting with this Data Studio is that you can connect external data sources such as Google Sheets. You can connect Shopify reports. You can connect QuickBooks Online, MailChimp contacts, Stripes, Pipedrive databases, Zoho CRM, or Aircall, for example, seamlessly. And what's interesting is once you connect this data, it won't get injected inside your CRM, but it will be combining your data in these data sets, as explained. And for this example, I created a list. I'm going to show you. I've already have the report pre-updated, which is a list of people that attended Inbound and that are interested in Data Hub. And what we want to do is we want to see, as a marketing person, how we can engage with this database. So what we've done is, if I go into the reporting, I've been able to connect my contacts inside the CRM to my Google Sheets. And you can see that we have my contact record on HubSpot that is connected and matching with my Google Sheets. So I have now a lot of companies that are in my CRM, but also attended Inbound. And we can update this table as we want. We can create columns, for example. We can enrich data if we have enrichment gaps. We can create formulas if we want to. But the real interesting thing with it is that we can use AI to create new data columns. So let's say, for example, we have this list of companies, which is a huge list, but we only want to focus on B2B companies. I don't want to do it manually. I don't have the time. I'm too lazy. You can ask your data agent to automatically create a property that will tell you if companies are B2B or B2C. So how it works is you create a smart column name, as I have done. You can create a prompt. So I've asked my data agent to list me all the companies and research the company and tell me if they are B2C or B2B. Sorry for that. We're going to do it live again. And we can ask the AI agent to do some research either on these data sets, on the company website, or we can ask the data agent to look for data all over the web. And then we can explain, do we want enumeration, Boolean, number, or just text? So we're going to try again, and we're going to regenerate the tests. Thought I had it perfectly, but we need to do it again. Perfect. So I took 3 companies as an example. So Marathon Petroleum, China Railway Construction, and SAIC Motors. And it will automatically create a property, and it will, I can't create them because I've got too much data into the CRM. We have like around like 1 million contacts. So I think it will create some lots of like column with data. But basically you can create a new column that will automatically say either B2B or B2C. And you can really prompt anything you want. You can use all the different properties, and you can create new properties based with AI. This is super powerful. Again, it's AI, it's agents, so it really saves you time and resources.
Yeah. Just to add to that, I think it's quite hard to demo that in a way that everybody understands how it could work for them. But when you start digging into these things, it's actually often these weird offline data sets, like people that attended an event, or there were people that would connect to somebody else, and you've got this weird data in a Excel spreadsheet or a Google sheet, and you want to do things with it. And I think it's super powerful the way that Data Studio allows this kind of intersection in a very easy to use, user friendly way. And then you've layered on top of that this effectively natural language prompting of SQL queries. So I remember a day, and I've worked in databases where you had to actually write SQL select statements, as they were called, so that you actually told it what to analyze and told it how to do it. That's just all been removed now. And it's the power of those data select statements is now just writing a natural language prompt, as you said, go and research me, is it B2B or B2C? Seems really straightforward, but it's amazing how these tools come together and create efficiency.
Exactly. And of course, this is a very generic. We can't customize it to your industry. So ask Tim if you guys are interested to see how it can fit with your industry. But this is very powerful. And the thing I like the most with it is, and that's the last piece with the Data Studio, is you can, again, create sequence, you can create workflows and marketing actions with this data set without having to inject data inside your CRM. So what I'm going to show you here, for example, with the same list, I just want to reach out to people that are interested in Data Hub or high satisfied customers and attended inbound. And with this, I can either decide to synchronize this data inside the CRM, I can decide to enroll them in a workflow, or I can add them in a segment, so that the marketing team later can run marketing emails and marketing actions to this database. And again, this is part of an external data set. We haven't enrolled or imported data in the CRM. So it enables you to really combine external data with your HubSpot data without having to mess your data inside the CRM.
Yeah.
So that's quite useful.
Yeah. That's really useful. Again, coming down to events, sometimes if you attend an event as a B2B exhibitor, you might get a list of all the attendees, and it could be 10,000 people come to your event or come to this external event. Well, you don't want to import 10,000 contacts when only a fraction of those might be interested in what you do. And as you were saying there, Maxime, it's basically, it allows you to analyze that data set and then use data either which is in it or that you can grab from elsewhere, and then make that really good core set of what you're interested in and get rid of the useless stuff, because you don't want to add 10,000 marketing contacts to HubSpot right now, but you do want to add the 350 that were absolutely a brilliant fit for what you do. So yeah, again, it's super efficient. I think
Mm.
efficiency is great here.
Exactly. And just to finish, I'm conscious of time as well. One of the tools that helps you being more efficient, to use your term, Tim, is the data agent. It's still, again, in beta, it's still like growing and developing as the agents get faster and get more powerful. But we have this data agent to be able to create smart properties for you and analyze data inside of your CRM. So basically, you can create smart properties, a bit what we've seen with the data studio, to, for example, I need you to create a property that will say if companies are B2B or B2C. And what you will see is that it recommends prompts that you can use for your business. So for example, for companies, it can summarize all the company's main social media platform and their engagement, or find me all the company's new location. And you can use the prompt, and based on this, it will automatically create a new property. So that's very powerful. You don't need to manually create a property. You can automatically create it, and that the small property will fill out all the records. So that's, again, is very powerful, saves a lot of time. And for marketers and sales, it enables you to segment your ICP a bit further to run more personalized marketing campaigns. You can do the same for contacts. And what's useful with it is the data agent will not only look on the web, they will look at emails you've sent, they will look at your calls transcript, and they will look at company data. And for example, if you have, let's say, a contact, you want to see, is there a churn risk with my accounts? Data agent will automatically look on all your calls and look at every potential client that has a churn risk. So this data agent is really powerful in going across your data and really looking at every resource or every question you might have for him. So that's really powerful. It's still in development. We're expecting it to get faster, more powerful. But as for now, it's really powerful in creating columns and creating smart properties and having more insights into your database.
Yeah.
And just to finish on this as well, as you know, and if you have HubSpot, you should know that your subscription already includes credits. So for starter, professional, and enterprise, and some of the actions we've seen actually consume credits. For example, the data agent consumes 10 credit for any potential request you prompt you create. And you can see that the data studio sync also consumes some credits. So again, what I would recommend, if you have questions on how you can better use your credits, if you're not using them well, feel free to check with Tim and the Innovation Visual team. They will be able to really help you understand how you can make the best of your subscription.
Yeah, indeed.
Perfect.
That was really good. Thank you for that, Max.
Yeah,
And
no worries. No worries. And again, if you have any questions, please reach out to Tim or I. I know I see we have a questions on the Q&A.
yeah, I'll head back. I'll grab the
Yeah,
screen back off you, and I'll
yeah, no
just
worries.
we'll just head back onto where we are. So that should
Perfect.
be back to the pretty blue screen. Yeah, let's thank you, Max, for doing that. That's great. And I think that the thing we're talking about here is getting the data back in a better place. To talk then confidently about agents, I talked about the hybrid team, and I just thought it's worth actually showing people some ideas of more AI agents that are possible. So you talked about data agent, obviously customer and prospecting agents are built in to different elements of the HubSpot stack. So those things are there already, but there are amazing things that actually we can create, and we have been creating Innovation Visual, everything from things like custom proposal builders, which output in things like Google Slides or into Canva, all the way through to things like lead vetting and qualification in a deeper way, document validation, all of these things. There's a whole mixture of different ways of looking at doing these things, but it's really it's about solving a lot of different problems that are out there, and we always start talking about need. And I think it's important when people are talking AI and AI implementation, that they actually think about the impact and the effort involved. So if you think about it, if something is low impact, but it's also low effort, it's kind of a distraction from like actually delivering something really great with your AI. The problem is if it's low impact and it's high effort, those are the ones that then turn people off in the organization to AI. So we call them AI killers because it's like, oh, we had to do all this work, and actually, even if we got it successful, the impact of it was very low. The ideal position is high impact and low effort. And I think what Max has shown us today, that with some of these tools, there's actually a very low effort factor to get some really quite significant impact within your organization, within your revenue generation. So these kind of tools, which are easy to use, easy to implement, they fall into this ideal category of, we want to demonstrate our use of AI across the business. We want to be using it to positively impact revenue across our teams. Hey, there's some really good opportunities here. And there are those higher effort ones which do have high impact, but they may be seen as things to tackle later down the line, because you don't want to make the first implementation or the first strategic implementation of AI something which is really high effort, because it might make the business think, wow, that was a lot of work. Yes, we've got a great benefit from it, but it was an awful lot of work. So it's better to start in that sort of ideal quadrant. And then I suppose this takes us nicely into what we call our agents as a service, which is helping businesses understand where agents can work. So it starts off with identifying the best opportunities. Then it's building and training these agents. And some of them are ready off the shelf, like data agent, like customer service agent, but you can have help actually implementing those in the right way. We're doing it across different platforms. So this is, you have HubSpot as your single source of truth, but some of the agentic technology is actually, it might exist in other places, because HubSpot can't generate a custom pitch deck in Google Sheets yet at this point. So you have to think about looking at the right technology. And then also when it comes to agents, this ongoing optimization, measurement, management is really important. And the change management to make sure that actually adoption is going to happen. And then building up your hybrid team. So with Data Hub as a core of getting that data right, you can really start building out this set of agents to build your hybrid team. And that's obviously what we're looking for. So to summarize it, we were talking about data cows to AI ready, and I think Maxime's done a really good job of showing the power of Data Hub in there. And it's one of these foundations, one of the 4 foundations of successful AI implementation. So I think that's really good. We do have some questions, so we have a few minutes, I think, that we can cover some of those off. Just going to ask you to answer this one first, which is, what are the key differences on Data Hub between Starter and Pro? Somebody's asked that one.
Yeah, that's a very good question. I would say data starter is it's very limited. The starter features at HubSpot are usually suited for smaller teams. So with data starter, you will be able to synchronize data, as we have seen, and you will have some of the custom properties that you can create and the custom fields mapping that we've seen at the beginning. While with the Data Hub Pro, that's where you will have the build duplicate management tools, the data help, data quality tools. With Data Pro, you will have the formatting recommendations, as well as the data studio. I still believe, if I just look at a second, because I can see people ask an interesting question. I believe like we had some difference with the data studio. I believe it will be in professional. I know we are still in beta. We're thinking of it. So I'll be able to answer in a second. But I think Data Studio is in professional.
Okay, yeah. So quite some reasonable differences there between the different ones. So we've got a question came in. In fact, this is the first one. So our data is a mess, but management is encouraging us to use AI. should we wait until it's fixed before implementing? I mean, I've got a view on this. Do you want me to go with this one?
I think it's more for you.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, what I would say is your data's never going to be perfect. So you've got to move forward. You can't wait until the world is perfect around you. So I would say you need to get in there and get it cleaned up to a degree, get it better. So there are, like, we see some prospects come to us and their data really has got in a terrible mess. And I think one of the interesting things about Data Hub was that the fields system where it looks at actually what's being used, what's not being used. And we've had scenarios there where there's just been people creating properties that are overlapping and not being used, or they used to be used and then somebody created a new one and data. So you got to get rid of the real bad stuff, but don't wait until it's perfect, because perfect never comes. So better 95% today than 100% tomorrow is what I would say. So don't hold back. And I think probably talk, if you're looking to implement AI or management want to implement AI, talk to us. Let's do an assessment to see where the data is at, would be my summary on that one.
Yeah. And I think, yeah, doing an audit is always key anyway. You need to do an audit to see what steps are needed.
Yeah, for sure. And then we've got one which is, as well as the built-in enrichment capabilities in Data Hub, how are businesses using bespoke agents to automatically act on that enriched data? So I suppose there's a combo. There are some bespoke agents now becoming available within HubSpot from the marketplace, and also ones that are created by HubSpot. And then there are now also the ones like the kind of, I would say, more complex ones that we're building in Innovation Visual. But I suppose the question here is about like the enrichment that Data Hub can provide. And if we think about it, the world is, or consumers, whether they be B2B or B2C, people want a more personalized experience. Like, I think it was when HubSpot did the survey, only 4% of all businesses that returned an answer said that personalization didn't increase revenue in some way. So if you start at the point where revenue, personalization drives revenue, what drives personalization? Enrichment drives personalization. And being able to actually enrich records in your HubSpot Smart CRM without having to pay any money for it is like, it must have made Apollo and people like that really angry, because their whole business model was enrichment is valuable, pay us money to enrich data. Now HubSpot's saying, we almost think that, it's a hygiene factor that people should have great and enriched data. So we're gonna give you this so we can really get to grips with these tools. So I would say it's the agents can only act on what it knows. So if you give the agents more knowledge, they can be more personalized. And if they're more personalized, they'll drive more revenue. And I think that's really the key thing, whether you're targeting people by sectors and being able to go more granular on the sector because you've got better enrichment, or whether you're personalizing because the enrichment can allow things like geographical differentiation. These things, it's going to be different scenarios for different people, but it's the enrichment driving personalization for me, and the specificity of then your messages, whether that be email, SMS, or whether it be the website. Is that a fair answer, Maxime?
Yeah, I do agree with you. I think, yeah, you need the more data you have, the more structured, clean data you have, the more enriched data, the better you can run your business. For sales, marketing, it's the same thing. So
Yeah, yeah, perfect. Okay, well, I think we've overrun somewhat, but hopefully it's been a very valuable overrun. I do have that habit of talking too much. But Maxime, you've been brilliant as always. As I say, you often talk at our in-person events. For those of you who are watching this both live and also people wanting to watch the recording, do reach out and connect. This is obviously what we want to do, and tell us what you're doing in terms of your opportunities. But let's maybe we can set up a custom demonstration of Data Hub. This is such a great opportunity. As I say, that the timing of Data Hub and its new features is really opportune. And Maxime and myself, or some of the Innovation Visual team, we're very happy to jump on, actually sit down with you and show you how it could be specifically tailored and give you benefit in your business. So please do reach out to me. And I hope that also it was useful. Please do provide us with some feedback. And then, let's hopefully we will see some of you people attending on one-to-one calls, because Max, that's what we're about, isn't it?
Exactly. It's all about one-to-one demo presentation. So yes.
Yeah. Good stuff. Well,
Cool.
Thank you very much. And again, a very big thank you to you, Maxime, as always.
Thank you, Tim,
It's
for having
great.
me.
And
Thank you, everybody.
yeah, thank you all for spending the time with us. Thanks very much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.